What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today I want to talk to you about Intuitive Machines. I want to give you a quick overview of some of the data points, what is moving it, and what shorts are up to. Before I get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So LUNR is up a very impressive 8.93%, 876 the high, 793 the low. Kind of low volume though, so 9.27 million shares being traded, 20.8 is the average. So you're not really seeing big money kind of fall into this FOMO, what is really happening in the broader market. But if anything, today really shows and signifies how powerful algorithmic trading truly is. So no actual news from the company itself, no SEC filings. So LUNR is kind of just piggybacking off the broader market, and the market is in full on rally mode. So a lot of the broader indexes are really pushing higher. You also see at the same time the fear and greed index is under the greed category. So people's appetite for risk is definitely on the table. So the algorithms are kind of picking up on all of that and propelling a lot of growth stocks higher, such as LUNR. So big money is not really falling into it, like I said. So these are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000, majority of which are sells, as you can kind of see right here. There was one buy recently, roughly around a couple minutes ago, and that was for $382,000. But aside from that, the only thing that as well that's kind of coming out that is really fueling a lot of optimism is politics related. And this one, I think it kind of shows Trump has a pretty big lead, so 20 percentage points. So I think the consensus is, not to get political on this channel whatsoever, but the consensus is that Trump is going to do a lot better for the broader market, bigger picture. So we'll just have to wait and see and all that other fun jazz. But shorts at the time of doing this video are increasing 196.87 thousand shares. So they are not kind of believing in this hype. If anything, they're just kind of increasing, and they are increasing a pretty fair share amount, especially considering based on this, only 450,000 shares is available to be shorted. So there is somewhat limited supply based on that, but 27.67% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 15.8 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average is 11.71, utilization 82.36, and then short score is 73.56. So the higher the number, the higher the likelihood of a squeeze happening. Going over options, 1.47 million in calls, 344,000 in puts. So kind of high volume for LUNR, especially comparing it to previous days. So that's something to take note of as well. 45% of all the options being done so far today are optimistic and bullish. And of the call options that are being purchased, you see a consensus for it to be above $10 by this week, so very optimistic. And even it looks like the same kind of thing for next week for the most part. And then looking at puts, you see a consensus for it to be sub roughly around that 8 to 750. So in my opinion, a little bit more upside is anticipated. And so I think a lot of that is just hedging based on a continuation of good earnings coming from companies and just continuation of FOMO. And in LUNR's case, the technicals are actually looking very, very good. So right now with it at $8.63, so pulling back slightly from the recent highs. So $8.58 now. It is trading between these 2 points, so the pivot and this R1. So $8.62 is going to be the next strong resistance slash target, and then $8.13 is going to be the next strong support. Quickly moving over here to IBKR. On the actual chart, I have the ALMA, 50, 100, 200-day moving averages, super trend, stochastic RSI, and MACD. So right now you do see a little bit more of a bearish deviation starting to form with the stochastic RSI, plus it is rather overbought. So you might have a lot of consolidation and volatility in the foreseeable future, but beside the point, it is above the ALMA, super trend, and all the other key data points and moving averages. So I think in general, LUNR is going to continue to piggyback off of the broader market's optimism, and who knows, see how high it goes based on the options. Like I said, there is anticipation for it to be above $10. No new analyst ratings, so a lot came out last month. A lot of good ratings on the side note. So you have $12, $10, $10, $11, and $10. As a consensus, $10.60 is that average, and that does represent a 28.95% upside. So yeah, what is your thoughts on LUNR? Do you see more upside coming? Do you see more of a pullback? What is your viewpoint on all of that? On a side note, one thing that I actually really do find very bullish is looking here at the ownership. So essentially, you have 19.49 million held by institutions, 6.85 million held by strategic entities, and then 36.59 million is held by other, aka retail. So on a quarter-over-quarter basis, retail did go down 7.21%. Institutions went up 43.82%. I know it's not a foolproof plan, but if you typically do follow what big money is doing, usually they kind of know where it's going to go ultimately. So big money is getting into LUNR and has been on a quarter-over-quarter basis. So that might be a good indication of potentially what might be coming. We'll just have to ultimately wait and see. But yeah, this is also on a side note, it in percentage mode. So yeah, what's just your thoughts? Have you been buying? Have you been selling? What have you been doing with LUNR? And have you been dabbling with options? Options dollar value has been increasing slightly, so something to take note of. Two things I just wanted to share with you. If you're wanting all of this information to be completely free, click on IBKR in the description below or the comments for it to be completely free. So it's a very handy tool that I like to look at and everything else. And then aside from that, I did launch memberships. So if you like the content, want to support the channel, you can definitely do so. Or if you just want buy signals on stocks and options, there's also a tier for that. So let me know your thoughts. And with that, appreciate all of you watching.